Hello, everyone, and welcome to another horrific review. Chris and I are back as we discuss Jason X, directed by Jason Isaac. Jason Voorhees is cryogenically frozen at the beginning of the 21st century and is discovered in the 25th century and taken to space. He gets thawed and begins stalking and killing the crew of the spaceship that's transporting them.
Was this based on a true story?
Could be. I think it's possible today. Jason in space.
This one was everything I was hoping it was going to be. It was irreverent. It was. It had just a comic, a comedic aspect to it, but it did have some fun visual things to look at. It had some fun kills, which these types of movies you want to see. It was not repetitive. The deaths were not repetitive. It was fun. If you're watching a horror movie in space, this is what you're hoping it's going to be.
Yeah, that's that's the thing. Because people still rag on this movie, and it's kind of like, do you not read the memo? Like, do you really think anybody that you're getting a serious horror? Like even Friday the 13th series, stop being a serious horror by the time Party It came out. No, I mean they started going with the quirkiness, the one-liners. You know what I mean? The sort of joke kills and that. That's what it became about. Because what else can you do with a long-running franchise like that?
Yeah, and did you really expect a gritty, realistic take on the character of Jason Voorhees in space? Honestly, outside of the Alien movies, there's not really like a lot of serious horror takes in space. Like usually you hear in space at the end of a horror movie. This is what you're hoping for, or this is what you should be expecting.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, they're popcorn flicks.
Yeah,
They're not. That's anything that has like 5 or 6 sequels. Yeah, come on.
yeah. And the worst to me would be if they had tried to make it, like a gritty movie and failed. I think that would have been worse. Like this movie knew what it was and they leaned into it. And some of the kills and some of the one-liners were great.
Well, they tried to make it. Well, Hellraiser Bloodlines, they had an in space segment of that. You know what I mean? Because it set it like throughout time and in the far future, and
Okay.
they made it serious, but at the same time they made it cheesy too, just the way that the cinematography was.
Yeah.
That got slated as well, but I don't know, man. You're allowed to have a bit of fun. I think there are purists out there. And of all the things to be purist about is a slasher franchise, you know what I mean? Because it does what it says in the tin. Like there's loads of serious horror. I mean, there's loads of heavy material. There's loads of like strong dialogue and strong storylines out there in the horror movie genre as a whole. So
Yeah.
these are a bit of fun, and I think it's all about taking it in context.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I enjoyed it. The movie went quick for me. It felt like an hour and 10 minutes. It didn't feel like whatever the runtime was. I was curious how it did. Was this direct to DVD or was this?
No, I think it was a cinema release.
Yeah, I was curious. I guess I could look it up, but
Yeah, I was going to say, ask me complicated questions while we're live and stream before I had a chance to look it up. Numbers and stuff. Come on, like.
But to be fair,
I don't trust this.
I can look it up. Yeah, don't break the computer. Yeah, don't break the computer.
Jason box office. It made 17 million worldwide, and the budget was 11 to 14 million. Yeah, so
all right.
Yeah. Well, it needs to be three. The rule of three. It needs to be 3 times the budget, and that's probably not including marketing.
Yeah. All right, that's not so good. But I think people that enjoy this type of thing, leprechauns in space, and they just want to have fun. I think they're missing out if they don't give this one a look. Because I'm not a big fan of the slasher genre. I've told you that before. That's not my. Of all the different types of horror, that's probably my least favorite. But this I enjoyed. This was funny to me.
And self-aware.
Yeah. Yes. That makes a big difference. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, absolutely.
But obviously they've captured Jason anyway, and they're experimenting on him because they've now decided that he is an inhuman creature. Because the first three movies didn't really know what to do with him.
I think in general, I feel like that was the take in the 70s and 80s. I feel like they didn't overthink things, right? Like you know, like the movie Gremlins, they don't go in too depth into like what's the history of the Mogwai and like where did it come from and you know what you know like you know what I mean? Like they just I don't know. I just feel like that was the style in the 70s and 80s. It's just kind of don't over you know analyze it, you know, just move past it, leave some mystery, leave some interpretation to the viewer.
Mhm.
But as you get to like the 2000s and newer, there's a it seems to be you know a lot of movies want to explain things and I'm kind of that way sometimes, so I'm part of the problem because I overthink things.
Mm.
I'm
No.
famous. I'm famous for it. So I actually like the idea that they didn't in the first few Jason movies, Friday the 13th movies, they didn't like explain why he was immortal, but now they actually are trying to, and I actually kind of like that, to be honest.
No, it's sort of a logical progression. What is this? Like, the worst of the franchises, the main ones, is Halloween, in my opinion.
Halloween,
That
yeah,
thing has been bounced pillar to post. You know what I mean? At least with Friday the 13th, there's a consistency to it. Same with Nightmare on Elm Street, there's a consistency. You sort of know where you're going. Halloween is all over the place as far as I'm concerned.
yeah.
You know, they even inserted like random movies, Halloween 3, you know, just for reasons. And then they had Michael Myers living in a, it's Halloween 4, they had him living in a hole, like actually living and eating in the campsite and stuff. Then he was a dead human monster. Like, come on, make up your mind. At least with Jason, you kind of got it. It took him 3 movies to get there because the first one is Pamela Voorhees is the villain. Jason pops up at the end, but you don't know whether he's real or a dream. The second he crawls out of the water, but you don't know. Like, because you're sort of asked the question, why didn't he just crawl out and see his mother then? Or was it her death triggered him? You know, I mean, that was
Yeah.
always left unopened. But then it just became about Jason being the inhuman monster, and it was Jason Goes to Hell. They actually capture him and
I
kill
didn't
him. And
see
then
that
that
one.
was leading up to Freddy versus Jason. I don't know if this one came out. No, this one came out before Freddy versus Jason, I think.
Okay, gotcha.
So yeah, just far flung future. Why not? Earth's
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
a big ship pit. It's been destroyed. Uh, Humans have moved on, and basically what we'll have are these scavengers. You know, that basically go back to the old Earth, Earth One. You know, for resources to see what they can pick up.
Yeah, it reminded me to you know how like people you know go treasure hunting under the sea and they try to find like shipwrecks from like the 1700s and stuff like
Mhm.
that. That's kind of how they viewed the Earth, which I thought was and you know it's not unique, it's not original, but it's a fun take on how they discover you know Jason. I thought that was a cool way to do it.
How Jason ends up there was ridiculous. Though, like, come on, like this whole research center, and yeah, like full of the clowns.
Yes, it was not the most well run facility.
No,
But in my head, it's you know a government run facility,
oh well, I
and
suppose that.
specifically a U.S. government run facility. And if you think of it that way, it kind of makes sense.
Yeah, with a crazy Canadian doctor in charge. Good to see David Cronenberg again. Just playing the. Cause you haven't seen Nightbreed, have you?
No, no,
No,
he
he
looked
basically.
familiar, but I couldn't place
Yeah,
him.
David Cronenberg. He's a famous he's actor slash director.
Okay,
Done quite a few bits. Need to have a look more at his stuff at some point. Need to do a director series with somebody. You know, start looking at directors and go through their back catalog.
yeah, 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 that'd be cool.
No, because I've already done it with Sir Peter Jackson, obviously. Dale and I did it, and then
I love your and Dell take on that. That was very fun to
Cameron,
see his progression. Yeah,
and then obviously Cameron, Adam, and I did Clive Barker. But God, we
yep.
need to do some more of those. Need to. it's just getting time, isn't it, and fitting things in, and
Yeah, yeah,
too many movies. Like I think we've talked about this before. You could never cover all these in about 100 lifetimes. Like if
yeah.
they stop making movies, like right now, just pull the plug on everything, nothing new gets made. There's still more to stop enough stuff out there, like cover 100 lifetimes. You could never get through it all.
Absolutely. Yeah, yeah. You're almost lucky, if you find something good, because there's just so much out there that the chances are it's not going to be good. Like, just
Mm.
number one, statistically. So when you find a hidden gem here and there, it's actually pretty amazing.
Yeah, and this is like you take this what it is. Do you know what I mean? It's a bit of silly fun,
Yes, for
and
sure.
if you're getting yourself that wound up over something that's meant to be a bit of silly fun, I don't know what to tell you. You need to
Yeah,
cheer up
I
because
think the. I'm sorry. I was going to say I think the one line that like sums up the entire the tone of the movie was when let me see if I get the name. The tough guy who actually survives, Sergeant Brodsky. So Sergeant Brodsky, when he's in a one-on-one battle with Jason, and he's like, and he gets like slashed or cut or something like that, and he's like, something like that's not gonna do it. And then like a second later, like the machete goes all the way through him, and he's like, yeah, that'll probably do it. I was like, that's great. That's my kind of humor. That was awesome.
Yep. I don't know. The sergeants in this are too good. Good Sergeant Marcus at the start. Yeah, we're gonna handle this. I love the way, like a sergeant going about in full dress uniform, while the rest of his men are in fatigues. You're like, huh? Bet up yourself much? What are you doing? Like, if it was a visiting colonel or brigadier, I would get it. But a sergeant, like a platoon sergeant, yeah, I'm gonna dress about in fucking number ones, or yeah, no, sorry, probably number twos. But yeah, I'm gonna dress about in dress uniform just for reasons and a camp.
I think he was trying to impress Rowan. I think that's the reason. If you have a scientist there that looks like her, I think he would want to look as sniffy, as snavy as you could.
Because that's important. But yeah, that first scene was just chaos. You're like, okay, yep, that's all right. That's how it's happening. I love how he just conveniently froze him with his machete as well.
Yeah, yeah. And they just left it. You'd think if there was like a big murder and like all these deaths and stuff like that, like there'd be like an investigation.
No panic button, no radio out. We've been compromised. Blah 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 blah. Like,
yeah.
No, it just gets left and forgotten about. Okay.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Maybe there was some sort of international crisis and then it got left behind. But yeah, I kind of only a sentence here or there would have kind of explained that. But again, with this type of movie, you don't. It doesn't linger too much. I thought about it for a minute. I was like, why did they just leave the facility like that with all the dead bodies upstairs and not investigate? But you move on pretty quick.
Yep. But we get the salvage team from the future. Like this, runs fast forward into the future, and yeah, they're just like kicking doors open, not caring, do the bare minimum, in terms of rad checks and stuff. And they're like, yeah. Well, we get the first kill, basically, or accidental thing when Jason sort of falls forward. I had to look this up. So apparently, cryo freezing makes steel stronger.
I did not know that.
I didn't either, and I'm like, no, hold on. Does that make that work? Would that not be more brittle? No, I looked it up. So apparently, if you cryo freeze, if you cool steel down, it actually becomes harder. So him falling forward and chopping Azrael's arm off would be legit.
Yeah, I was thinking I think Terminator 2 lied to me. Wasn't it where it was like frozen and then like broken into like a million pieces and then melted together at some point? The Terminator 2 from the
Oh, the
future.
T-1000.
T-1000, yeah.
Yeah.
At one point, he's like frozen, and then he breaks apart, but then he's close to like heat, and then
Yeah,
melts
but
together.
that's heat stress. So, you've seen Alien 3 as well.
Yes, yes,
So
yes.
if you ever put like something in the microwave, like a crockery pot or something, or a plate, and done the thing, and then set it onto something really cold, and the thing just goes,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, or splash cold water or something, or one of the things I stupidly done was poured like a jug of taken out of the fridge, and make chamomile tea in, and I hadn't had it warm up, come to room temperature, and I poured kettle into it. You know what I mean? If you super cool something or super heat something, and then do the opposite, it's thermal shock. It's known as.
Gotcha. But this was just super freezing it. What'd you call it?
Cryogenic
frozen. Yeah, that is interesting. That could be a future theory on cryogenic freezing. I missed out on that now.
Special bonus for Volume 2.
But I like how they, they're able to, rebuild, or what do you call it, reconstruct his arm in the future. I thought that was
maybe a bit of foreshadowing.
Yeah, it I have some thoughts about that down the road as to where that technology comes from. But I thought that was a fun take. I mean, it is, what is it, 400 years in the future? Like it's not like 50 years in the future. Like 400 years. You think about where like human technology was 400 years ago, and it's unbelievable. Like the idea of like an airplane would be like something that was pure magic and pure fantasy 400 years ago. So to think 400 years in the future, like, yeah, that makes sense to me. I thought that was cool.
Yeah, if we actually move forward with technology and stop just making new rectangle boxes that says the latest IRS thing and stop going around in circles, we might get there. But
yeah, or making smaller and smaller phones where you go like this to answer your phone.
That was around. I think that peaked around about 2001. Then it starts going the other way. You're like,
yeah, that's true. That's true.
Now they're all the same. Like it's just a new rectangle comes out. It doesn't look any different. They're like,
yeah, because people watch TV on it. Yeah, I guess they can't make it smaller now. Yeah, that's true.
It's funny the way all the blokes in this like go mad. It's a woman. Blah, 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 blah. Like they'd never seen one before.
Yeah, this was the horniest Jason movie ever. It was comical, but it played into the the genre, I guess. It definitely was funny. Like I wondered in the future, is there like some sort of like a hormonal imbalance, or maybe they're trapped away on the spaceship for like
with a load of women. We dress like they're going out to a nightclub on a Saturday night.
That's true.
And then they're like, "Oh, here's our frozen one from the 21st century." You're like, huh?
Yeah, I have no defense for that.
Yeah, it's like it does. If it was a crew of blokes that'd been isolated for like 6 months or a year,
right?
I would get it. But no, not when you go back to the main ship. You're like,
and every woman on the ship is gorgeous. Yeah,
that's what I mean. Dress like a go to a nightclub.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that was hysterical. Growing up in the 90s, I saw a lot of Cinemax movies that were very similar to this plot. Minus, they just didn't have a machete, but up until the machete, it was very similar to the rest of the movie.
Oh dear. And then we'll meet the two most annoying, insufferable characters you can imagine. Stoney and Kinsey. Like, are they supposed to be postgraduate students?
Yeah, that's what I couldn't.
They're acting like teenagers, like they live together. They're not, obviously, it's not like they're not having sex on a regular basis.
Yeah, I was thinking like, man, college got so much better in the future.
They're lab assistants, and like they can't really. like I'm sorry, at that point, if you're like sharing the bunk, the dorm together and stuff, and living together, like calm the fuck down.
Yeah, yeah, and it's right in front of the teacher. Like they're literally like all over each other. Like it's not even like subtle.
It's like
It's
12-year-olds and having
yeah,
kisses, you
yeah.
know, and you're like, oh my god, no, I just can't wait for their kills.
Yeah, you know, in a slasher movie, that's just like begging. Like, I don't want to make it to the end. Just take me out first.
Yep.
Yeah. Actually, the girl lasted a lot longer than I expected.
Yeah, she was a surprise one. I thought they were both going to go together. You know, your typical sex scene, and then Jason comes in. But
Yeah.
no, we've decided that we're subverting expectations. You know, I think, like you mentioned, the kills in this and just the way that it were inventive, and yeah, this didn't follow the same formula, which was cool.
Right. I did like that. Yeah. They did a good job to make sure it was varied and like you said, unexpected because you definitely thought she was going along with her boyfriend.
Hmm. But yeah, Professor Lowe, what a sleazebag. What an absolute sleazebag. Gnarly. Just no, not just the fact that he's a pervert, but also he just you wouldn't have you'd watch your wallet around him sort of thing. He's one of them types.
Yeah. And I liked his quiz, I guess, or his final for the she's like, it's time for my midterm exam. right,
Oh,
before, right before she goes down on him.
well, she does a bit more like that. Come on, she's never got the clippers. She's
Oh,
twisting
that's
his
right.
nipples up,
Yeah.
and he's in the suspender. You know, in the flipping the full negligee and stuff. You're like, oh well, I see universities haven't changed in like 450 years.
Consequently, that was how I got the job on the show. I remember, Colin, that was that time.
I would say, look, that tapes for special. I mean, that's a special edition DVD release when we hit 10,000 subscribers. Is good out.
It said, oh no, don't say that.
Oh, did you not know I was recording at the time?
I did hear a lot of machinery in the background, but I didn't think anything of it. Saw those red lights now that I think about it. Oh well.
That's your best, baby.
But yeah, no, that professor was hilarious. And the thing is, I actually was surprised. A movie like this, for me to be surprised, really doesn't say much about me. But like when you first see him on the screen, he really does seem like he is interested in this, making sure what's her name recovers. Rowan recover. Yeah, Rowan. And when it turns out that he's, this asshole, like I actually didn't see it coming because he seems very, interested in helping her in the very beginning. And then as soon as he starts to talk to his students or that guy on the phone, the collector or antiquity guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's when you see that this guy's a sleazeball. But up until that, I was surprised.
But is that not always the way? It's the successful ones are the look and the act as if they're concerned and humble and blah blah blah, and it's usually hiding a dark secret. You know, that's usually those like a proper predators.
Yeah.
Not your cartoon villain type, like a proper predator's like that. They pass themselves day to day. They have a bit of charm about them because at the end of the day, they want to be. Oh, it couldn't be possibly him. Oh no, Saint. Salt of the earth character. That's usually the way they play the game.
That's how you know I'm not zero charm. This guy, zero.
Seems me I'm about as subtle as a brick. I don't give a shit. Oh dear, but yeah,
he was a fun character though, and I like the way he went out. That was a fun death scene.
Oh dear, I was like, he just wanted his machete back.
Yeah, everything's fine now. Not really much.
Let's read the room. Come on.
Yeah, doesn't bode well for him as his professor, higher intellect. Everything's fine now. He just wanted his machete.
Oh dear. I love the poor Adrian. I wasn't expecting her to go so soon. I thought she might have been a final girl.
Adriana, yes.
The first one, the with the liquid nitrogen.
Oh yeah, right. Because she didn't do any of the supposed movie sins.
No.
that get you killed early, like premarital sex, doing drugs. Like there's like certain things that you
Cheating,
do,
blah blah blah, being
over arrogance, like yeah,
she was
she
straight laced, studious, and actually was genuinely interested in research.
exactly. Yeah. Yeah, so I was surprised too. Although I guess come to think of it, it does seem like the people that are scientists that are probing the unknown, I guess they do get killed a lot in movies, right?
Mm.
The people that should, or
Well, the fact that they didn't keep him frozen or in stasis and secure him, like, is this not dangerous? No. Okay.
yeah, yeah. But how she went was pretty interesting.
Yeah, that
Her face right into that, I guess nitrous,
liquid nitrogen. Yeah,
liquid nitrogen. Yeah.
you're just like, what the hell? That's poor girl. But I love the
Yeah.
way Jason could hear people screwing at like 200-meter radius. Like he just hones in, premarital sex. Doot, 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 doot. Radar goes like he just knows exactly where to go. He's on his mission.
Well, I mean, I guess if you think about it, right? That was his origin. Was that he drowned because two counselors were having
Basically
premarital
not
sex?
watching him. So
Yeah. So that actually kind of makes sense that he hones in on that.
that's where I have concerns about this Crystal Lake series. How's that
What's
going to be an entire story?
Oh, I wasn't aware. There's a
Yeah,
whole
there's
show coming
Crystal,
out?
and it's a prequel.
Oh, okay.
So that's basically the events leading up to Jason Voorhees' death.
that was my complaint with Gotham. And I have a friend who loved Gotham. So if he's watching this, he's gonna call me up after and be pissed. But to me, the part of Batman that was exciting was when he was actually Batman fighting crime. It wasn't so much the part that came before when he was growing up as a millionaire. That to me is less exciting than
That
when
wee
he's
dweeb that played him as well was really insufferable. I got as far as 2 episodes in the season. Now, season 1, tangent, folks, tangent alert, tangent. Whoop, whoop,
hit
whoop, whoop,
the
whoop,
alarm.
yep, whoop, whoop. Season 1, I actually was sort of on board for because it was seeing Gotham City, how it got, under the Falcones and the Cardones, the rise of the Penguin. That would have been an interesting series, just the city. And then obviously what happened with Bruce Wayne and then him just disappearing, that would have been good and just let the story carried on. I got 2 episodes into season 2. I think that's where they started doing the Scarecrow's origin story. I'm like, for fuck's sake, here we go. This is going to do the Rogues Gallery. Every villain, the Rogues Gallery. And then I saw that he was going to be, the wee guy playing Bruce Wayne was going to be through it the whole lot. And I'm just like, nah, I'm out. So I got as far as like episode 1 or 2 of season 2. And then I'm like, nah,
Yeah.
I just saw it being an absolute train wreck. And then I saw some of the clips. Then the whole, was it Jerome thing?
I stopped watching at that point.
No, but when it started appearing in the the media, like, is he the Joker? Is he not the Joker? I'm glad I checked out because I'm like, no, I couldn't handle that.
Yeah. So Crystal Lake, like, what are they going to focus on? Like the lunch lady did a bad job that day.
So what prompted me to get this computer and leave myself absolutely broke? Poor broke this month was I was trying to do a news article on it and the thing wouldn't record. But they're promising blood-soaked episodes and this and that. And I'm like, what is this series going to be about?
Yeah.
Because if it's a prequel, then Jason's alive and he's just a normal kid. And that was what prompted his mother. The fact that he was left unattended. That was, that was a straightforward enough story.
Yeah.
How are they going to spin out an entire season? It's going to be it's going to be nonsense.
I can't imagine there's much interest in what happened before. That's yeah. Hey, if you want me to do the story, I could.
Friday the 13th as a standalone movie. Say they've never done any sequels of this. It's a great story.
Yeah.
It's a classic case of revenge, and the reason that set Pamela off was the reopening the camp, i.e., desecrating her son's grave. Because they obviously never found the body. That was the whole thing. So she never had closure, and it just shows how somebody can mentally break down. if you don't get the grief as a powerful emotion. If you don't grieve properly and don't get closure, that can manifest. And once again, that's what horror explores. I mean, it's all the
Yeah.
subtext of the main thing. So as a standalone movie, Friday the 13th is brilliant. Moralistic and everything else. Obviously, they decided to rip the arse out of it with like another 14 sequels, but hey ho, the 14. Definitely more than 11 anyway. Like tons. And that's where the slasher genre as well, is a bit of a parody of itself because it just churns out these things, and it's more about the spectacle and the storytelling, which is if that's what you're looking for, like this, fine. So this is like horror comedy, that's where we're at, and that's fair enough.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know what they're going to do, and they're obviously going to try and make a prequel serious and dark and gritty and 2025 TV style, and it's going to be like
Yeah.
over expositioning every episode.
Yeah, I can't imagine. I'm interested now in that story. If you want, I'll record it. I'll work on because you do like the cool, dark voice when you record those. So I can work on that. In a world where Crystal Lake has lunch because not much else happens until the murder.
Pamela is watching, waiting for her son to die.
That's good. Oh shit, I'm fired. That's much better. That was much better.
I've just been doing it longer. When I'm reading, you just slow your voice down a little bit and just sort of get into like a narrator, Yeah, if you want to have a crack at those, yeah.
Just until you get to the computer. Right? Yeah. In week 1, Jason goes swimming and nothing else happens.
Oh dear, this is good. This is going to be a 3-hour stream, folks. Sorry, we're going to forget about the movie and just go off on all random shit here because why not?
Just making fun of Crystal Lake.
Yeah, you can tell Chris has had a 3-week break. He's like chomping at the bit to get back into it.
Yeah, watch it be amazing now, and then I'll eat my words. That's the problem with this. This is like you can always refer back to it and like. Remember, Idiot, when you said it was going to be terrible, and now it's like, the best show on TV?
Ali, I have no problem eating my words. You know what I mean? If I'm wrong about something, like I'm not putting a statement of fact. I just say I have concerns.
Yeah.
And same with the Alien Earth. I had concerns. The first episode lulled me into a false sense of security. I mean, I got kicked in the bits repeatedly for the other 7 episodes, but hey ho,
Yeah.
I was prepared to admit I thought I was going to be wrong, and then I turned out to be right, and then my life was hell for like 7 weeks. Because it started, I had to finish the series because it started covering it. So I was like, I have to see this through, and that was horrible.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I'm mostly wrong. I think as a human being, if you aren't willing to keep an open mind and rethink your position on things, then I don't know. I think you're doing it wrong, and I think you're a danger to society. Maybe I went too far.
Now, there's only one thing. There's only one problem with having an open mind or stating that you have one.
Yeah.
Every lunatic out there wants you to convert you to whatever they're like. You've got the Church of the Spaghetti Monster and all that. They'll be trying to convert you because you've got an open mind. I can fill you with my shit. So you have to like go, nah, grumpy old man. Don't. I've got my opinions. Tough shit. Go away. And then those sort of people will leave you alone. So you have to be careful about the open mind thing because there's people will always want to fill it with shit.
I run into that a lot. But you know what? A lot of those cults have donuts and coffee, so
sometimes that's all you need.
It's a win-win.
Right. So Adrienne,
yes.
she goes splat in a spectacular way. What a shame. But she did dress like a slut, so there you go.
That's true.
Slap it up. That's what she did wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was signaling. She was giving the wrong signals, so that was her fault. Very 70s attitude, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
No, she was all right. She was just, like I said, she did nothing wrong. She just did her job. Bloody hell.
Yeah.
Poor girl. Hey.
Very modern how she went out with her face, plastered like that. Very that could be like a shot on Hollywood with all the plastic surgery, right?
Yeah.
That was like she had a big smile on her face too. It looked like just because her face was frozen. Very Joker-like.
Yeah, and then got the containment protocols. Biohazard, blah blah blah, and everyone just goes wibble. Like it's a research station. Supposedly,
Yeah.
they're supposed to do this stuff on a daily basis, knowing that the planet is irradiated in a wasteland. Why are they acting like they've never, I don't know, they're acting out of a car boot sale?
Yeah, like some people, ran to certain rooms when they heard the alarm. And then you have other ones that are still playing video games, virtual reality video games. They didn't exactly take that alert very seriously.
No, but with the alert, not bypass all that stuff, like the entertainment section.
Right.
Off.
Yeah, shut down certain doors where you can't leave certain areas. Like, that was a terrible.
And no wonders why he's broke. You know what I mean? Because he's running an absolute shit show.
Yeah.
Why aren't they making anybody? Because you're a clown. That's why. Nobody takes you seriously because you're a muppet.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, and that was the thing. It's a whole tactical ship-wide alert, emergency, and everyone just hangs about on their own and does their own thing, and like even on a ship at sea, never mind space. I'm pretty sure when alerts are called, you have to act a certain way, and if not, you get in serious trouble. Like it's like closing bulkhead patch, doors and all. Like that's there's all protocols in place for stuff like that. Even civilian, not even just military, but civilian liners, because there's licenses and stuff. Like you don't just fly about or go about in vehicles, because that's putting people's lives in danger.
Yeah, especially with a ship in space, like taking out the possibility of all like the radioactive stuff that they're bringing up from Earth. What if there's just like a random like tiny meteor that like pokes a hole in the ship, and like the air is rushing out? Like you have to be able to section off that area. So the fact that there were no protocols at all aside from the loud alarm, really
that everybody ignored because
that everyone ignored. Yeah. It was very silly.
I love the way they call them the grunts. Like they don't even mess about. Like the tactical squad, the security.
Yeah.
Once again, I know we'll go on our own. Like we'll spread out. And we'll not work in pairs. We'll not cover each other's backs. We'll just go one by one. Jason just works his way through them
in a poorly lit area too. Yeah. No, to me, you would just form a I mean, you have more military training than mine, which is still at 0. But wouldn't you want to be in like a circle, like back to back, and just moving as a group?
Well, just clearing corridors, pairs, fire maneuver. So you do it in 2s or 3s.
Okay.
And you cover the arcs.
But But I feel like the going by in pairs of 2s and 3s is when it's there's like a time element, like you're trying to prevent this person from escaping or something like that. Like
if you have your cutoffs, so entrance exits gets covered. Heavy weapons, actually, that's cover that. You've got your cutoffs, and then you just that's why people practice it day in day out to do it in like down to seconds.
Okay,
like this stuff's done, but systematically. That I know this is a bit of fun, but I can't help myself because it's like
I mean these little things take you out of whatever suspended reality, and there's not much to be had.
No.
But as a moviegoer, there are moments where you're trying to invest in the story and pretend, and things like this kind of take you out of it when it's like, okay, you go in the corner, in that shadowy corner by yourself, and check in with me every 10 minutes. All right.
Yep.
It's not my favorite assignment.
Not even calling it in, as in, right, red 1 clear, red, blue team, red 2, would have it all marked out. Nah. Yeah, just none of that. But then again, maybe it's a reason why these lot are on this ship, because maybe they're not that good.
Could be. That's fair.
I made this argument with Aliens that maybe the squad aren't the best that was sent, the LV-426 on the Sulcata.
Yeah,
Sulaco,
if
sorry,
you
Sulaco. Yeah, maybe they weren't the best squad because then they've got the members that are just signing off and stuff. It seems like they're just sort of thrown together.
you know what? If you look at it that way, it does kind of recontextualize it. Yeah, if they're not supposed to be,
They're only guard, you know what I mean?
cohesive
They're
unit.
guard duty, they're security guards, just happen to have
Yeah,
weapons, and then now they have to try and pretend to be soldiers and they don't have a clue. And
yeah, that's true.
and I was a like, great thing, you know what I mean? I'm not pretending to be anything fucking, it's special. I was, I got awake and dressed and turned up on time. That was basically my military career. So,
There you go.
and sometimes I didn't do that because I went out to piss the night before. So,
Hey,
I've had my wrist slapped a few times and a few extra guard duties over the years.
your military career trumps mine, which equates to playing Call of Duty mediocre one time. Yeah. But you know what I did like about the grunts? I like the fact that they didn't take the bribe. Like because when the scientist guy says,
Yep.
I want you to Professor Lowe, when he says, I want you to capture him alive, and that would obviously put everyone in danger. I like the fact that they said, yeah, sure. And then he said, don't worry about it. I like that. Like, because I feel like a lot of movies, even though it wouldn't have mattered because they would have been killed anyway, a lot of movies would have portrayed the soldiers as taking that bribe.
And maybe that's what killed them. That would be an easy way to go about it. But
didn't we see something like that exactly happen in the Leprechaun in Space one?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. So I actually kind of like that they didn't take the bribe. Not that it mattered, but it's just a little thing that I liked.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Just little things like that. I find myself endeared to a lot of these characters, even though some of them, like, you already saw for the first time before they got minced.
Yeah. Yeah, some of them were more likable than a lot of these slasher movies. Yeah.
Yeah, and I like that, I don't go with the idea that the characters have to be unlikable just so you can suspend disbelief when they get taken out. You kind of want to feel that better. Get a wee bit emotionally invested, not break down in tears, but you know what I mean. I hate that trope where they make everybody unlikable except the one final girl.
We saw
maybe
that
one other, and it's boring.
Yeah, we saw that in the Final Destination movies.
Mm-hmm.
Almost everyone was unlikable except for the one that survives. Yeah.
To make it palatable for weak people who are like, oh.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's not realistic.
No.
The good people die just as quick as the bad people.
Yeah, not everybody's like has to be cartoonish, good or bad. You can have normal people just get on with it. Like the first Alien movie, like that was the best thing they did was the casting. It was just an ordinary crew, if we make this comparable, they're just a crew of a ship doing their job. They were basically truckers, space truckers.
Yeah.
They had tempers, had disagreements, but they're just ordinary people you could see yourself having a cup of tea with, that sort of thing.
Right.
That's what made them endearing. That made the horror, it turned up the horror a bit more because you're like, these people don't deserve this.
Yeah.
It sort of made it like in a comedic fashion. They did try it here, which was cool. But then they had to get rid of the squad. You mean had to get rid of the weapons? Couldn't just have it that easy.
That's true. I did enjoy the grunts. I really liked the sergeant. What's his name? Bilko Brodsky. I'm sorry, Sergeant Brodsky. I thought he was great. I think it's you see that in a lot of these movies as like an afterthought in casting, and not much is done with them, and they're usually kind of forgettable. I can't even remember what the one in Leprechaun in Space. I could barely picture him, but he was an example.
Oh, the one that ended up in the dress and getting remote controlled and stuff.
Yeah. If I don't know if I saw him, I don't even know if I would recognize him in another role. But Brodsky, I thought was good. He seemed like competent in his role. He seemed like a good guy. He had some funny lines. I thought that was good casting, and I enjoyed their take on that. Yeah.
Yeah, that was it. Trying to think where we are now. Yeah, then as things start going down, we see Lowe reveal his true character. Even the persona, the facade he keeps, just disappearing. Like the guy's a rat.
Yeah, like I said, he started out to me as the competent professor who cared about Rowan's safety and everything, checking in to make sure the regeneration was going well. And man, did he digress! And by the end, he was pretty awful and stupid.
Yeah. Too much book learning and not enough actual real life experience in the world.
Exactly.
I love the way as well they've got a containment breach that's an emergency, and they're thinking that they're going to dock on a space station. Like, like I said, I would equate that to a ship on fire. You're not going to dock against another ship because that's two ships on fire. Then,
right.
I mean, you're going to park. You're going to what's the term? Buoy yourself up.
Dock.
No, but you're not going to dock. Oh. That's the thing. You're going to like keep a heading just parallel to the station, and then rescue boats are going to come out to you. You're not going to just
orbit. You get to like orbit around.
Yeah, or just take up a position and hold.
Yeah. That's true. Yeah, that didn't make sense. I mean, I guess they were desperate, but that isn't right. You're basically putting the entire space station, which was like a city, at risk, which is pretty awful. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But how did you like their defenses, that city?
What, you mean zero?
Maybe
right. Right. You're a space station. You're out in the middle of space, and like you mentioned, meteors, space debris, everything flying about the place. Yeah. So what do you have? A big glass dome, like a greenhouse, and you have nothing for anti-collision or falling stones or anything.
The entire city went up. Maybe they ran out of like plywood and like stucco, and they just used dynamite. They just built everything with sticks of dynamite.
That was it. Yeah.
Oh, that was hilarious.
Nothing. No patrol boats or anything. This thing hurtling towards it. No.
Yeah. I got such a kick out of the people watching on their little screen and the spaceship of the entire city blowing up. And then they were like, oh, well, maybe. Oh, no. And then that part blows up. And then, oh, well, maybe we could still park. Oh, and then that part blows up. And then the entire thing goes up. And then they're like, what happened? That was pretty funny.
Yeah. This is where it just gets ridiculous because, yeah, why not?
Yeah.
I think this is where, like I said, the film's self-aware and it's just having a bit of fun. And you're like, no, you're not getting off that easy. Come on. And you direct like Muppets, so yeah, there's a reason Earth 1 like died because these people are all stupid.
Right? Yeah, these were the
how
people
the fact that managed to make it to space. I don't know.
These were the people that were in charge. Yeah. Absolutely.
But then we get the best thing, like we said, and that's Lowe's death scene.
Oh, that was hysterical. That was hysterical because he just, for a professor, he just was such an idiot. He's like, "Oh, it's okay, guys. He just wanted his machete back." As he stands behind him, not even watching him.
Yeah. Yeah, we're all friends now, and then he doesn't want his machete. I mean, he used the machete, but then he realized he got a better one. So he's like, I'm taking this. Ah, dear. And then, what the hell was the score with Kinza? She was a Muppet.
Mackenzie.
Kinza.
Kinza.
She starts flying off the handle and...
Oh, yeah. Was that the one that gets sucked out to the airlock?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't care for her. She was one of the few characters that I could have done without. Otherwise, it was a fun cast, but that was one that I don't know. I just found her whiny and I mean pretty to look at, but I don't know. She bothered me the whole movie.
Yeah, just
None of her lines landed comedically, and she just came off as just whiny, I guess is the best word.
yeah, and then trying to lock everybody in and stuff, and like, nah.
Yeah.
But one of the best characters in this has to be KM though. Like,
The
yeah,
fembot.
yep. She may as well have had flipping like machine gun nipples, you know, like
Austin Powers. Yeah.
Yep. That would have just made her the ultimate.
Yeah. Did this come out before Austin Powers? I could
No, I
check.
think it came out after.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say
Austin Powers 90s movie originally.
Yeah, I think you're right. So if this came out after, I was gonna say if this came out before Austin Powers, then they owe her some money because there definitely were similarities for sure. But yeah, no, she was great. I loved all the little jokes when she was just ahead, and he's like holding her, and there's all these little one-liners or whatever. And it was nice. Like I'm a child in many ways, but one way in particular is after like the bad guy kicks ass like the whole movie, like I'm just dying for him to get his ass kicked. I'm not like one of these people that roots for the villain, like I know a lot of people do. I really like to see the villain get his ass kicked. So when she finally did that, that was great.
Well, that was the thing about these long standing franchises. The villain always gets her ass kicked, but then they come back. You know, it's that's always been a returning formula. But yeah, she goes into full battle bot. You know, like with the kinky outfit as well, just for reasons.
Yeah. And I love how calm she is when he turns into Robo
Jason.
Robo Jason. She's like, I could try. I think you should run though.
Yeah, God, that was there was a thing as well. They never thought about dismembering Jason. Like the captain, even in their intro scenes, like the captain chained up whole and complete, where he's immortal. So yeah, just dismember him and keep him in different parts. It's not like he grows new Jasons. So
yeah, I mean, if you've seen any vampire movie, you got to think maybe cutting off the head could help. You know, just stabbing it with a stake. I mean, you try, something. Yeah,
even just boxing him up in different bits so he can't grow back together again.
Right. Yeah, that probably would work. Yeah, unless you have like an Evil Dead thing where just the hand is running around slicing at you.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, probably. Who knows?
That'd be a fun take on it. Yeah.
But yeah, she took him apart. Like he in ghoul mode, or I wouldn't say human mode, but ghoul mode. Like he had no chance.
Yeah. Yeah, that was great. That was a great scene.
But I like the way, yeah, the whole nanobots thing. Like, I think that's it. That's the end of the movie. But no, because obviously we know what's coming.
Yeah, the nanobots, the whole regeneration idea. You know, buddy, it looked a little bit familiar, and I started wondering how that technology came about and what
really.
Yeah, I did. And then as I sat on the couch, I started doing this. And you know what happens when I do this?
I do indeed know what happens. Is it going to happen again?
To the crazy cave!
It's a theory. It's a Chris. It's a theory. Chrissy Chris. Chrissy Chris.
Chris's crazy theory.
So.
Oh, I gotta do it this way. Try to match the picture.
Nanobots, is it? Is that what sparked you off?
Yeah, and just the whole, technology and where it might have come from. So, we think back to the beginning of the movie, and if you're just joining us, we're talking about Jason X, Jason in space. So we have, I don't know why I did that, but so we have this scientist in the beginning, And it starts out where he's discussing lost and damaged tissue as we go to slide number 1.
But
Thank you, sir. So yeah, he recognizes that there is something unique about Jason, and not just the murdering part. And he goes on that his unique ability to regenerate cries out for more research. I posit, no one talks like that. I say that the research continued in the future without him, because obviously he dies about 20 seconds later. And if we go nuts, I'm sorry, I should have put a warning label if you get grossed out at home. So
hold
if you
on,
get
man.
grossed out,
If you're watching a horror channel and watching a horror segment within a horror channel and you're getting grossed out by horror stuff, go away. Be gone.
yeah,
Romance is that way. Exit stage left.
maybe that should be the warning. If this grosses you out,
No,
be gone.
there's a clue in the title. Horror, you know what I mean? Come on.
Yeah. That's true. But I picture someone eating a sandwich in that moment just now, and I apologize. But yeah, so this was his face as the doctor was examining him when he was supposedly dead on the spaceship. And she takes out this eyeball, and I looked at it, and it reminded me of something. Here's another example of it. What did this look like to you?
Looks like a
Anything?
snail or something, or
Something definitely not human, right? And it reminded me of this. And this image, I don't know if you know, is from the movie Aliens. And it got me thinking, maybe we're not recognizing what actually Jason Voorhees is. And
hold on a minute, that's Alien versus Predator.
Alien versus Predator, yes, that's right. But still, the point is,
sorry, my memory banks is going. Scrolling through the entire movie there in the space of like 10 seconds. Going, no, wait a minute, that's the shit one. That's
yeah. You were like Data, like going through the movies in your head.
No, I just ran through like 20 years worth of movies or 10 seconds. Going, no, that's all right.
But he's not human. Is the point there? Jason is definitely not human, and I have more evidence to support this crazy theory, which happens to be true. One of these will be true. So I did some research, and I read about the panspermia and the tardigrade, life forms that can live in space, as I want to do. There's another one with an alien who's clearly
his head.
His head. I'm more worried about what's happening down here. Poor guy.
Maybe it pops out when needed, like a snake or a lizard.
God, I hope so for my sake. Now, wait a sec. Why would I say that? Moving on. We can edit that out. So, yeah, panspermia, the extraterrestrial hypothesis, the idea that that aliens came to Earth and seeded Earth, or that they visited us. I mean, if you look at an octopus, that thing ain't from this planet. I don't care what you say. So, the idea, though, of panspermia is very simple. So, a creature, gets, hijacked by a meteor because of a collision. And there's collisions that happen with every planet, throughout the universe all the time. And it transports over, many years. And there's life forms that can live. Tardigrade is an example from that book that can live thousands of years. And then it basically gets deposited into the new planet. And I think that's what happened. And the movie gives us clues that is actually what happened when it comes to Jason. At the end of the movie, they talk about the new planet, how he's arriving. But I think it goes back further to how he actually arrived on Earth. And I have some more evidence because this is a little wackier than usual. But yes, Jason Voorhees, I believe, is not entirely human. Although he was human, he was a human boy. I think he was visited by an alien creature that morphed with him. An alien symbiote is really the correct term.
They could have taught him to swim.
And he also taught him to swim. So
no, they could have. That would have just saved a whole load of hassle.
Well, I think he landed on the lake after Jason Voorhees had died, and I think it mixed with his DNA. And we'll get some clues as to why I think that in a little bit here. So the technology itself, we saw this technology of the nanobites merging with the human DNA. Where I think that came from is I think that the research continued. I mean, there's evidence of Jason Voorhees' DNA all over the place. I mean, over the previous movies leading up to this one, he's had limbs, he's had parts severed for him. It's all over that camp. So I think one of the reasons they abandoned the facility is they didn't need the actual specimen. The research continued with DNA that was left over at the camp and other places throughout the previous movies. And from that DNA, they actually developed this regeneration technology that in the future emerges as this sort of thing that we're seeing in this image here. An example of why I think that is when he's talking to this antiquities collector who knows about Jason Voorhees, a serial killer from 400 or 500 years ago. There's no way he would even know about an individual from 400 or 500 years ago unless he had some sort of significance on the human population. And I think the human significance is that someone in the know, in the scientific and community, would know that that Jason Voorhees was famous because his DNA eventually led to the technology being utilized into regeneration technology. I think that's why he knows who he is.
I love the way they used him as an exposition device when they already had Rowan.
Yeah, they did. Well, I mean, maybe he's a director's buddy or something. But I have some more evidence because this is a little bit more out there than usual. So later on, the computer says insufficient tissue for nanotech reconstruction. This is after Jason gets killed and he's laying on the table by himself and everyone forgets about him. Well, the next thing it says searching for synthetic cellular replacement. Abort denied. So somehow the computer is overridden, not by Jason. I mean, Jason's dead, but I think something in the technology, the framework, the DNA of the technology itself that led to the regeneration technology, the coding goes down to alien coding that was the same because it originated from Jason Voorhees 500 years ago, 400 something years ago at Crystal Lake. And that's why it said DNA source located. It located the source, which was the same in the computer technology as it was in Jason's inherent DNA because it was unique. And that's why it decides to override its programming to go back to the source code, which is Jason Voorhees. It's the only way to explain why the computer acts like this. Now, you may say it's bad writing, but it's not.
I was just thinking plot device and the fact the ship was blowing up and everything was going a bit wobbly. But who am I? You know what I mean?
No, you're just the owner of the channel. No. It clearly was because the source code, the origination of all this technology, is the alien being that is Jason Voorhees. Is another example of it. Why returning to the source like a child coming back to its papa. There's no other way to explain why it would not only revive him, but it would want to make him protected, right? Just like caring for a loved one. You not only want to revive them, but you want to make sure they don't get hurt again. That's where the computer went to such extremes to protect the originator of the source code, the alien itself. And that's why they made him super protected into Robo Jason.
Oh, so they didn't finish him off and give him more armor, like a full suit. They only give him bits of a suit of armor.
Well, maybe they didn't have the best relationship. It is a father and son.
I hit you, Daddy. I want to protect your right shoulder there.
See, you're on board.
You didn't give me my puppy for Christmas, so your left shoulder's vulnerable.
Yeah, they could have had a dispute, 2,000 years ago on another planet, and he's still a little miffed about.
Still holding a grudge.
Exactly. See, you're on the train. But do we have any examples that this creature, this alien, could survive in space? Because that's a big part of my theory, is that he transported from another planet. Well, yes, the movie gives us examples that, yes, he absolutely can survive in space. In fact, it shows us that.
Well, he was cryogenically frozen, and he's how many movies have ended up with him underwater. Just, don't
Yeah.
think space is a big stretch.
No, it's not, because he's from another planet.
A volcano, on the other hand, I would say would be tricky.
Volcano might be tricky. That's true. That's true. But clearly, the panspermia idea that he originated from another planet is viable, because we see it exactly happen like this later at the end of the movie. And I think the director is giving us clues. Like, not only did it happen in the future, but it happened in the past. And that's how he arrived at Crystal Lake to begin with. So we see him. He survives the burning up period. So obviously they could have happened before. And again, the director is explaining to us, look at that, a shooting star. It landed in the lake. So what happened in the end also happened thousands of years ago. And they give us, the director's, he's crying out for us to know this is the origination of Jason Voorhees. That
do you reckon that's going to be Crystal Lake season 1 then? It starts off at another planet.
I would
going to
watch
be
that.
like Man of Steel origin story, with flying Avatar type birds and stuff. And
now I'm on board. Yeah. In a
Russell Crowe.
In a world where Earth 2 is happening. Yes. So I think that is exactly what happened. The type of alien, we see this examples in other things, like the alien symbiote in Spider-Man, Venom. So what I think happened is the alien itself is not evil, unless you say a spider is evil for eating a fly. I think the problem is that this alien symbiote happened to land and connect with Jason Voorhees, a boy who was upset that he had been left to die because of the malfeasance of the camp counselors. And that is why the alien is acting evil. If he had connected with anyone else, a decent school teacher or something like that, we wouldn't have even known. But that is the creature or the person that the symbiote connected with, the poor Jason Voorhees, and that is why he is acting this way. And it's a real shame. It could have been anyone else that he connected with, but unfortunately for us and for the people in this movie, that is how it went down. So my final, I'm supposed to wait a beat. I'm getting better at this. So my final theory is that probably shouldn't do that. Jason Voorhees is an alien, and not the cute Reese's Pieces type either.
Right, we are not making Spider-Man or Venom 3 or what's is it Venom 3? Hasn't quite yet.
Yeah. Yeah.
Venom, Eddie meets Jason. Oh dear. That would be a better plot. I hope if they do that plot for Crystal Lake series, we might have a chance. But I don't think they're going to.
No, that's true. Although I don't know how exciting it would be, because that couple on the beach, they looked exactly human, so that kind of takes the fun away.
I guess we'll see. There you go, folks.
It's a theory. It's a Chris. It's a theory. Chris. Chris's crazy theory.
God, my heart nearly went to burning there. I was like, whoa. Sit there. Stay.
Oh no, your hat has become
like,
sentient.
It's me taking over. It's like, oh man. Yeah, that whole transformation scene, like that was a whole, like, we knew it was coming in the movie, and I think we were just waiting for the whole time. The fact that it's like the last act, and
yeah,
I had all this lead up to it.
But I mean, there are a lot of plot holes, which again is, you're not supposed to overthink this stuff, which I'm always guilty of. But why did the computer override its programming? Why did it give him this awesome suit of armor? There's a lot of issues with it.
Well,
But I'll tell you, it was fun.
yeah, my last issues are the last 10 minutes. It's like they didn't have enough for the movie, so they kept padding it out.
Yeah.
Every time they were getting towards somewhere, something else happened. Another disaster. It was almost like, okay, right, we're there, but just need this to run for the length of time so we get it made.
Where do you think a good cutoff point would have been?
I don't know, just the fact that they were, they got the charge set up, then something happened with the charges, and then they got this set up, and then another thing hit.
Yeah.
Like, I just felt like the pacing of the last 10 minutes was like they'd run out of ideas, where it was all there, I think it just rearrange it and jiggle. Like when they talk to the other ship and they say, "But if you can't make it here in 30 minutes, we're dead," and then come up,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? I felt like that was all sort of put in like at the last 10 minutes, just they could have had that happening, leading up to it. I think just the pacing went a bit off towards the end because this was pretty tight. That's one thing about this movie is like the pacing's been great up until the end.
Yeah, absolutely. By the way, I like that the rescue pilot. I thought he was great. Just that role is either they're uncaring, right? They could have been done differently. Where like they just don't care. Like we can't chance the rescue.
Mm-hmm.
You could blow up at any point. A lot of movies go that route, or they go the other extreme and they're like, they end up dying themselves by doing stupid things. They're like, but this was right down the middle. He was like, look, I'll try, but I have to leave at some point before it gets too dangerous. Like he was, like it was very
like a real life rescue, or if it was a submersible or something.
Yeah. In a movie where everyone else is acting ridiculous at times, it is nice to have those few characters that are grounded. Otherwise, it just goes off the rails, you know. So I like anyway. It was a small
and the fact
thing.
that this is like a clown ship full of clowns, doesn't represent the entire universe. There's a reason why Lowe's in financial straits and can't get anything together because he's an idiot, and he's hired obviously whoever he can on the cheap and stuff, and it shows. And he's using students for labor, and he's messing about with biohazard material and no protocols whatsoever, just what he can sell it in the black market.
Yeah,
cutting corners. It's all about the cutting corners thing, which kind of shows the disaster.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, it's nice to have an actual competent crew just coming about these. Oh, what happened here? You bunch of muppets.
Yeah. And what happened to that city I just passed?
The funniest part in this is when they basically send Jason to VR land. They put him in the game.
Yes, I love his reaction. He plays sack. Sack, I don't know what you call it. He puts the girls in the burlap sacks and starts whacking each
other. He's actually done that in the movie. I think it's a 3 or 4.
Oh, okay.
He's done it in the movie, and they're just actually making fun of it. That he's done that before. The only thing they're missing was when he's hitting the tree with the sleeping bag, going boing, boing, boing. Like a game.
Yeah. That was fun.
Yeah, the whole thing with them getting the umbilical cord and stuff and that ready, and they didn't put EV suits on and just jump out at this point. I don't know why.
Oh, Sergeant, Brodsky. Yeah, it would have been better if he just met them in Spacewalk, but it did make for a fun reveal, I guess, that he just happens to be in there, and he starts fighting with the guy. He was a great character. I like Brodsky. I thought when he went out early in the movie, it was funny because he had that funny line. I thought, yeah, that ought to do it. But I was glad actually that he lasted to the end because he was good.
Yep. I don't know. This could have been a series on its own, like the whole In Space series. I just felt like, obviously after that scene, Jason crash lands on Earth 2, basically to start it all up again. I just feel like we could have a whole series of that stuff. It would be hilarious.
I mean, to me, it's more interesting to think about the future than to do a prequel, The Crystal Lake.
This is winding me up. This is what's pissing me off so
Yeah.
much about movies, and that's why I'm not excited, because nothing is moving forward, and there's nothing new being made. They're not even trying anymore,
Yeah.
and they're just going back. And I tried to watch Welcome to Derry. I didn't even finish the first episode
No.
because I'm just like going like, what am I watching here? Why am I wasting my time on this? I just couldn't.
Yeah, it's tough when you're constrained by the previous movies. So you know that certain characters have to live, certain ones have to die.
Mm.
It's just, I don't know. For
Yeah,
me,
you're just going. You know exactly how it's going to end and where it needs to be. So what's the point?
yeah, there are plenty of examples where it's done well. I know there's a ban on a certain franchise here, but Andor actually was an exceptional TV show that was a prequel. So I am being hypocritical by saying that it can't be done well, but in general,
Better Call Saul.
But yeah, there you go.
That was I would actually argue that was better than Breaking Bad.
So there are examples of it can be done, but I just think in this particular case, the whole interesting aspect is what happens after the murder and the whole revenge story, like you said.
Mm-hmm.
So to focus on him before the murder, or not really murder, negligent.
Yeah,
just
the incompetence.
Counselors, incompetent. Yeah, counselors. Yeah.
Like I said, I don't know. I don't even know if I'm bothered watching it. I'll maybe check out an episode and see, but
yeah,
I'm going to review it or not. I have no idea.
Yeah. I hope you do, because then I'll watch your review to see if it's worth watching. I use you as a buffer from this stuff, so I can see what's good.
Well, this one was fun. You know what I mean?
I had fun.
That's exactly what I said in the tin. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A bit of goofiness, and it was just interesting to see how serious people took it.
Yeah.
Like at the time, you're just like, what?
The best are the people that say this isn't canon, but the other movies are canon. Really? All right.
Are you familiar with the 80s and 90s sequels? Like 9 times out of 10, one didn't follow on from the next. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't even start me in the action. I mean, the action genre. God.
Yeah.
Do people actually do channels in the action genre? How could you review those movies?
I don't know.
This exploded, that exploded, the end.
Right. The end. That's it. There you go. We just did it. We just did our first action review.
Yeah. I mean, there's literally nothing to talk about.
Yeah. But I do like the idea. So, I mean, talk about Jason and his regenerative powers. I do like that they focused on that a little bit. And it's either supernatural. Like I guess there's movies I haven't seen where he goes to hell.
Well, Jason goes to hell. Yep. Yeah.
Okay, so maybe that's where it comes from. But like I said, this movie seemed to me to give indications where it actually is alien in nature, and I kind of like that too. So I have an open mind. Maybe at one point we'll check out the hell one, but I like that they focused on that a little bit in addition to it being funny.
Yeah. Why not? And the fact is, don't give a definitive answer, because that's part of the point of the horror genre, is you don't actually know. It's beyond human understanding.
It's not beyond any human understanding.
Obviously available in all good bookstores. Go check it out. And
yes,
if you buy enough, then you might see a volume 2.
That's right.
If you behave yourselves.
That's right. Exactly.
But there you go. That was a lot of fun. And we are back to Critters Attack.
Nice. That's the last one, I think.
That's the last one, yep. Well,
okay.
Until they remake it again.
All right.
Throw more out. So we'll be finishing off that franchise, and then we've got a whole bunch of stuff planned of things that we want to look at, because there's like there's so much stuff out there. Like, where can you?
Yeah.
This will never stop. Never.
Looking forward to it, buddy. This is
There
fun.
you go. Thanks as always, mate. And just leaves me to say, until next time, keep up to the channel, do the type of clicky things, and remember to keep it creepy, keep it horrific.